What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'm going to take you guys through my blank Game Week 30 team selection. So as we always do on these team selections, I'm going to first take a look at my double Game Week 29 team and see how the squad got on with the triple captain active. We're then going to move on to my blank Game Week 30 team selection, also discuss my transfer plan where we might be taking a -4 hit. Now this video might be slightly shorter than the usual team selections, and the reason for that is that it is currently my birthday, and therefore I want to get this video out as soon as possible just to carry on my celebrations. But I'm pretty sure you guys will forgive me for that, but otherwise drop any comments down below and I'll try to get to them before the Friday night deadline. But now let's focus on this video and the team selection, so sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So first, let's talk about my double Game Week 29 team selection. So as you guys would have known, we used the triple captaincy chip, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on when we talk about our starting 11. But unfortunately, we have unlocked the achievement of using a chip, but still getting a red arrow. So we currently are sitting about that 11k mark, might be slightly closer to that 12k mark at the conclusion of tonight's game, which will be Newcastle vs Everton, as I currently don't own any of those assets. But starting off with our bench, we did have a couple of benching headaches, a Forster with only 2 points and Breuer with 1. The Breuer talking point was that we did expect him to actually be benched after a poor run of form, and that did come true, and he was on the bench for Southampton's game, but did come off at half time. But now we get to the annoying part of benching Saiss and Kilman. I would have played Saiss over Kilman just because I do think he was slightly more nailed than Kilman was. So we would have had 6 points, and we do talk about a defense, you can understand why that was slightly annoying. But Wolves keeping a clean sheet against Everton, something that I thought wouldn't have actually happened, considering the fact that Everton are in the relegation zone, but still managed to put on a good performance, and it's nice to see that Kilman and Saiss both played, and they still kept a clean sheet. There might be some rotation concerns for these two in the upcoming game weeks, but I just hope that most game weeks we get whichever one plays right and they get us some points. Now going on to our starting 11, and the defensive department actually put on a good showing. We have Ramsdale here with 10 points, keeping a clean sheet in the initial game that Arsenal played, but last night against Liverpool didn't have the best performance. It was super nice to own Ramsdale in the first game, kind of got a few save points but also some bonus points, which took him to 9 points total for one fixture, and last night he only resulted in 1 point. Doherty, our new transfer in, we brought him in for Reece James. That transfer might have gone a little bit sideways if Spurs didn't keep a clean sheet last night, but they did. Doherty actually got substituted before the 90-minute mark, but unfortunately no attacking returns from the rather attacking defender. In the first game against United, didn't have the best game. I don't think Spurs overall looked as strong defensively, but from an attacking side of things, they looked quite good, but Doherty didn't get any attacking returns. But now we kind of get on to the annoying part of this game week. It was going to be Luca Digne, who in the game against West Ham ended up getting injured about the 10 or 20 minute mark, so super early on into that fixture. Aston Villa actually ended up losing their clean sheet, and they did concede 2 goals, so I guess he would have had 1 point at the end of the game anyways, but he could also have got an assist going forward. Trent Alexander-Arnold and the Liverpool defense this week was super clutch. You guys will understand that if you did own Robertson. But this week was Trent's turn to not get any assists and only got a bonus point and 2 clean sheets to take him to 13 points. Now heading on to the midfield department, we had Saka who got an assist in the one game. We have Rafinha also got an assist, but in his game, they should have had a lot more. Against Norwich, his XG was off the charts. His big chances created were off the charts, but he only ended up getting 1 assist. So 5 points does feel a little bit unlucky in that point of view, but the Brazilian did have a good game and the stats do look quite strong behind him. Same thing happened with Heung-min Son, kind of the 5-5-5 here. We've got Son with an assist. Unfortunately, not kind of producing the same returns as Harry Kane this week, and it does look like the South Koreans taking up more of a reserve position under Conte. Kulusevski, though, our transfer in this week for Coutinho, was a little bit worried about that when he only got 1 assist against United, but luckily last night against Brighton, same thing happened. Might have been a little bit controversial when FPL only awarded him the assist a little bit late on into that game, but still 11 points, not too shabby from the Ginger Swede. But now finally moving on to Mo Salah, our triple captain for double Game Week 29, fixtures against Brighton and Arsenal, and what happens, Mo Salah ends up getting injured in the 60th minute against Brighton after taking the penalty, so he lost 30 minutes there, and then last night started on the bench, so lost 30 minutes in the Arsenal game. So collectively, lost about an hour of football, which I do think would have resulted in at least 1 more attacking return, and that's super annoying. But yet again, that is something that we can't really control Mo Salah getting injured. He's only missed 2 games for Liverpool, as far as I know, from an injury in these past couple of years. So it was a little bit of an unlucky move, but at least he did get us 10 points. But I think the biggest debate will probably be, was it worth not triple captaining Mo Salah in Game Week 26? Right now, I don't think so. Probably should have gone for that move, but it is what it is, and we have to move on. But now going on to our forward department, we did also bring in Lacazette for Adams. Adams ended up getting an assist for 5 points, but luckily Lacazette got a penalty goal, which took him to a total of 8. And then finally, Raul Jimenez with only 2 points, a little bit disappointing in that game against Everton. I thought they could have at least got 1 goal against them, but unfortunately the goal was scored by Connor Cody, not the Mexican. So overall guys, a pretty decent performance, a little bit unlucky with the triple captain, but unfortunately the minus 12 hit resulted in a little bit of a red arrow. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys got on. Did you get a green arrow or was it also red? But now we're going to shift our attention to blank game week 30 and why I want to talk about the team selection first, just to show you guys some context about what I'm dealing with currently and how many players you do have for the upcoming blank. So starting off with the bench there, you guys can see it's a blank game week. My bench is full of non-players, Forster, Breuer, Salah and Trent all don't have fixtures as there are only 8 teams playing. Going on to our starting 11 defense, we've got Ramsdale against Aston Villa. That fixture on paper looks fine, but I do worry about Phil Coutinho and just that X factor. And last night against Liverpool, the first half looked quite strong, but in the second half, Arsenal seemed to crumble. I then have doubled up with the Wolves defenders. I got Saiss and Kilman. I actually do expect one of them to be benched, which is going to be quite annoying, just considering the fact that Willy Bolly has looked quite strong when he did come on about 2 weeks ago. But if both of them start, I'll be super happy as Leeds could potentially be a clean sheet. And I think that Wolves defensively have been a little bit strong, but over the past couple game weeks haven't looked as good as possible. Doherty against West Ham. West Ham played tonight against Sevilla, but it is a home game. But I do think they'll go full strength tonight, and they might be a little bit tired when they do face Spurs on the weekend. I just hope Doherty plays. Maybe him getting subbed last night was a sign that he will play, but I also worry about some potential fullback rotation under Conte. The final defender is actually not going to probably play. It's Luca Digne, who had a little bit of a hamstring injury, so he's a major doubt for that Arsenal game, as DVG said after their game week 29 fixture. Now moving on to the midfield department, we have Saka against Aston Villa. I think from an attacking point of view, this should be quite a good game for Arsenal. We'll be looking to bounce back from that Liverpool loss, and Saka was subbed last night, so should be fine for the weekend. Rafinha against Wolves will be a tough game, but the stats look quite strong for the Brazilian. I'm not expecting too much from Leeds and Rafinha as a whole, and I think the double clean sheet might be better for us. Our Spurs double up of Kulusevski and Son currently against West Ham. I think this will be a strong game, as I mentioned with Doherty, that West Ham will probably be quite tired, but yet again this is a London derby and therefore there might be quite a lot of emotion in this one. Then in our forward department, Lacazette, Aston Villa, and then finally Raul Jimenez against Leeds. Both fixtures on paper look quite strong from an attacking point of view. I'm just hoping that Raul Jimenez can get back on the scoring way of things. Now currently my captain going into blank game week 30 is going to be Heung-min Son, but I do think there's a heavy consideration for Kulusevski, who currently is in better form, but the sample size is actually quite small. I've also potentially looked at other options such as a Saka or Lacazette, but I just think with most managers going for Harry Kane, I need some Spurs coverage. So currently we do have 1 free transfer and 1.2 in the bank, which could be quite substantial for an upgrade. I guess the most annoying thing about this team selection is that we currently did have a starting 11, but with Luca Digne's injury, it's going to probably be a starting 10. Added into that, Kilman and Saiss's rotation, we might be looking at 9 players definitely for blank game week 30. But now heading on to our transfer plan, and I actually have got 2 kind of transfer plans that I could go for. I've titled the first one the Harry Kane transfer plan, just because obviously it's a way to get Harry Kane in. I just think Harry Kane's the best captaincy option for blank game week 30, and currently is outperforming Son by quite a high margin. So let's say we want to bring Harry Kane in. Who would I take out? That's probably going to be Raul Jimenez, even though he does face Leeds. Wolves don't score that many goals, and the Mexican's form isn't too strong. But that is quite a significant upgrade there. Raul Jimenez to Harry Kane need quite a lot of value. So how are we going to get that value? Well, there's kind of 2 scenarios. We first need a major downgrade, but second of all, I need to free up a Spurs spot. I currently own Son, Doherty and Kulusevski, so I need to lose one of them, and the most expensive option out of those 3 is going to be Heung-min Son. So kind of the solution to getting that value is going to be a downgrade to Harvey Barnes. Now this downgrade I'm actually not too afraid of. Brentford at home for Leicester in blank game week 30, and then they have some doubles coming up in blank game week 33 that do look quite attractive. So if I do want to go for Harry Kane, these will be the transfers I make, but unfortunately this would be for yet another -4 hit. But now going on to our second transfer plan, and this one I could also go for. Obviously there is the chance that I bank a transfer, which I guess would be the third option, but the second option would be Mo Salah out for Harvey Barnes. So Mo Salah obviously blanking in blank game week 30, Harvey Barnes having a fixture, but also for the upcoming game weeks, it gives me some flexibility. The reason I'm saying that is that if we do look at Mo Salah's fixtures, has a blank in 30, then plays Watford at home 31, but then plays Man City away in 32. So I guess the scenario currently is that over this international break between game week 30 and game week 31, Mo Salah will be with Egypt in the World Cup qualifiers against Senegal, where he does have 2 legs for World Cup qualification. Now he definitely will play both those games, so the current thinking is that maybe if he comes back for the Watford game, Klopp could rest him. But then again, this is Mo Salah, a player that doesn't miss many games, only when I triple captain him. Not too salty about that one, but I do think he'll be fine for Watford, and therefore I need a plan to bring him back in. So in order to bring Mo Salah back into my squad for that Watford game in 31, I'll have to lose one of my other midfielders. So I don't think I'll do kind of the rotation of Harvey Barnes to Salah just because Leicester have some doubles coming up, so therefore I have to lose one of Saka, Rafinha or one of the Spurs assets. Let's start off with Saka from Arsenal. Now Saka's fixtures in the upcoming game weeks has Villa in game week 30, then Crystal Palace and Brighton, and Arsenal also have a probability of having a double game week in double game week 33. So I do think that eliminates Saka because of that double coming up. We then move on to Rafinha, who has Wolves, Southampton and Watford, great fixtures on paper, and therefore I might not want to lose the Brazilian. I mentioned Rafinha's stats looking quite strong, but unfortunately we can't really trust him or Leeds, and therefore he might be the most probable cause to transfer out for Salah. Finally, going to our Spurs assets, Son and Kulusevski. They have West Ham, then Newcastle and Aston Villa. I could also lose one of these two assets, as they probably won't double in 33, but I think the Newcastle game might also be quite strong. So overall, this is leading me to kind of think that I might actually just bank the transfer, as I might not want to lose one of these 4 assets, and I might just want to go into blank game week 30 with 9 or 10 players. Harvey Barnes would then come in the game week 32 or 33, depending on what I kind of want to go for because of the double game week for Leicester in 33. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Should I go for Harry Kane? Should I take Salah out for Barnes? Or should I just play the safe route and bank a transfer in preparation for double game week 33? But this is basically wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Sorry, it was a little bit of a shorter one, but as I mentioned, I do want to go out and celebrate my birthday. But hopefully I'll see you guys in the deadline stream tomorrow, 1 hour before the deadline. I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.